Pittsburgh, or the Steel City, at first only had a black population in the Hill District as well as small communities in other parts of the city before the 60s, when people came to the city for jobs in the steel industry. When the city destroyed the lower Hill District, thousands were relocated into areas on the north and east sides in the housing projects throughout the county. During the 70s and 80s, people began to lose their jobs in the steel factories. This led to the 90s to give Pittsburgh a new name, PGH, Pimps, Gangsters, and Hustlers.
We in Wilkinsburg right now. I'm a Homewood, I'm from Homewood. We on the east side. You know what I'm saying? 412. Okay. Welcome to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh stand up. Okay. You know what I mean? Got it all over me. Homewood boys, 7500. Okay. I know how we rocking, man. It's good out here though, man. I love it out here. This is my city. You know what I mean? It's all good.
Y'all used to be on that Blood and Crips shit hard back in the day?
Yeah, back in like early 90s, 93. There's still a little bit out of here, but these young niggas ain't got it. They got the game fucked up.
I feel you.
But you know what I mean? Yeah, there's still Bloods, Crips, Laws, G's. Matter of sport, what side of the city you on?
Even though gentrification is making neighborhoods like the Hill District and Garfield smaller in size, old projects like Garfield Heights, the East Liberty Towers, and most of the Hill District projects from Francis Street and WestSide in the Bedford dwellings to Flagside and the Ute Block and the Liquid and Addison Terrace all being torn down. Gangs like the Law Gang of Lamar and Wilkinsburg, the Alley Mob of Garfield, and Formosa Way of Homewood being of the past, the East Side still the most active part of Pittsburgh. While the younger generation is trying to bring back gangs, the streets will never amount to the 90s when neighborhood rivalries of East Hills versus Wilkinsburg, Garfield versus Lamar, Uptown versus Downtown Homewood, as the Crips, Bloods, and the homegrown Law Gang ran through the East Side.
Definitely. From the Steel City, you know what I mean? NorthSide, Manchester, you know what I mean? That's where I'm from right there, grew up. I get it with everybody in the city though, you know what I mean? I got niggas everywhere around here, you know what I mean? I'm definitely known down here. Right. People with me on every side, every hood, you know what I mean? Right now, we all about that paper, you know what I mean? So we are trying to get that money right now. Definitely not trying to end up over there, you know what I mean?
That's the count.
Yeah, definitely ain't trying to end up over there, you know what I mean? But sometimes situations happen where you might have to take that trip right there, you know what I mean? But you hold it down, never talk, you know what I mean? We're in the streets, we don't dwell on that right there, you know what I mean? There's no talk right now. You either take your bed like a man, if you can't do it, stay out the streets, you know what I mean? But
a small section of Pittsburgh with the racial makeup of areas off of North Avenue and Brighton Road changing due to rebuilding, the North Side had a number of affiliations and alliances, dividing the area as the streets became active in the 90s and had a reputation as the war side after the movement of blacks into the projects outside the Hill District like in Fineview scared people of nearby communities like Perrysville, allowing blacks to move outside the older neighborhoods of Manchester, Charles Street, and Central North Side into surrounding areas.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Eater, CEO of Black Prison Organizations. You know, I'm from the HI Double Up. Yeah, you know what I mean? Represent for the city of Pittsburgh. Oh, we at the Sunoco and Carrick, you know what I mean? Mount Oliver. For sure, holding it down, you know what I mean? I'm on my grind, you know what I mean? Letting people know it's straight representing the right way, you know what I mean? You gotta do it for young hustle status, you know what I mean? And one way to let you know, you know what I mean? There is a Lord and there's a devil. You gotta make a decision which one you wanna serve, you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of things going on with the government, you know what I mean? With society nowadays, they got people mixed up to the point where they don't know what's going on, you know what I mean?
The three original neighborhoods of the South Side were at first Belts Hoover, a predominantly black community since the 1930s, followed by the St. Clair Village and Arlington Heights projects. Before the South Side became known for the Crips and the projects and blocks off of Bronzeville and Warrington Streets, there were local neighborhood cliques like the South Hills Posse, but with the introduction of drugs, gangs began to play a new role, with Belts Hoover being the center of the streets of the South Side as people from all over came into the community, which led to problems between the two neighborhoods of Z Hoove and the dark side of St. Clair Village.
Shit better now than back in the day though.
Yeah, as far as banging, you know what I mean?
Niggas
It's still out here jacking and doing everybody out for themselves. But that's like that everywhere though, in every city you go to.
right.
Niggas about themselves. This gang shit. All about colors now. It's all about $1.
I feel you.
The only side where Bloods and Crips did not exist since a homegrown gang called the Convicts had taken over the West End, especially in Sheridan and in the Crafton Heights apartments. None were bigger than the infamous Broadhead Manor and Westgate Village projects in Ferrywood. These two apartments at one point were labeled as the drug capital of Western Pennsylvania until flood water destroyed what was left of Broadhead Manor and Westgate was sold to a private investor, and in less than a year, over half of the tenants were evicted over minor violations. Just outside of the east side of Pittsburgh is Mon Valley, a section that's made up of a number of small towns that are located in Allegheny County. While the community has been a working class area for the longest, this area declined after many jobs were lost during the days of the factory shutdowns that were from the 1960s to the 1980s. As people left, more black families began to move into different communities with the help of redlining, together with former residents residing to other parts of the Pittsburgh metropolitan. By the 1990s and 2000s, many active areas started when the Bloods and Crips came to Mon Valley, along with neighborhood affiliations in other parts. Some of the oldest areas were Homestead, divided into three separate sides: Hawkins Village or Rankin, the Skull Nation of Braddock, and North Braddock that had a number of blocks, the Montview Heights Apartments or Woodlife in West Mifflin, the independent areas of Duke City, and McKeesport, the only city in Mon Valley to have Bloods in their community, with exception to Crawford Village. All of these areas have been around since the early 1990s, while places like Clairton, Swissville, or Rankin have been active since the beginning of the 2000s, even though they had a black presence for decades.